Hello and thank you for joining me again for another movie breakdown. Today we're going to take a look at Netflix movie Project Power. So thank you for joining me for another video. If you're new here, my name is Kim. I do video essays on movies and animations with a focus on animation. So today I'm going to have a look at the new Netflix movie Project Power. So this was a real surprise to me. I watched it and thoroughly enjoyed it and got completely engaged in the whole story that was going on, as well as this one particular shot right in the middle which absolutely captivated me, which is what we're going to talk about today. So the shot we're going to talk about is all of 1 minute 25 seconds long, but they managed to do so much within this shot. There was so much storytelling that was provided in it. So we're going to follow the camera, what the camera sees and how it was set up and the things we're looking at as it happens. We're also going to look at what the multi-layers were to actually get that story and cram so much content within this shot as well. We're going to take a look at the audio cues they also used, which really added to the feel of this shot. And we're also going to look at the complex timing that happened inside and outside of the shot. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. So, if you haven't seen it yet, do yourself a favor, make sure you do go watch Project Power. It is a real gem to watch. So there was this one shot right in the middle which stood out as being an incredibly well worked, well thought out, great paced shot. So to start off with, let's have a look at the scene she's set up in. They've set up this shot prior to us going in there, so the camera is aware of what's going on inside and outside of this chamber. But they've brought the camera inside the chamber. The first time I saw this, it was a bit of a shock. I'm like, wow, it's a bit weird going inside the chamber, but it does tell a really nice story because we have come in and we're sharing the sights of the journey with this one character that's inside. Now she is getting very stressed. So we're in a very panicked mode, which is great. We've got the handheld camera, which gives it a really good feel to it. But she's in here, she's seeing herself freezing. To come up with some really nice things, look, she's dead center down here, but we've also got this object in the foreground here. And it's like the only thing that's in the chamber itself is this foreground object. So it's great we've been able to use it as a passing object or some sort of interest within the frame right at the start of the shot. There's a lot of things going on, which is great. There's lots of color changes, so the lights are going in and out. There's static, there's effects in the background which are going off with the sparks and everything. And we can see that she's in distress, but she stays fairly well dead center in the shot. So as we progress through this shot, it's really nice to see that she is our main motivating factor. As she's actually had her attention drawn and she's wanting to run away from everything that's going on, she turns to run and the camera actually does follow her, but it follows her going around the outside. So the main object in the front of us does turn around and hide our character as she pops from one, she stays fairly well dead center in shot. But it does cause a little bit of a distraction as the camera goes around and gets going again. So after that first initial move around and back again, we come back to what our next framing is. But she's over here now, she's moved over onto our right, and we've framed up, we've used the pillars inside this cage to actually frame up the action that we're wanting to focus on back here. So we've made that she's been stressed, but she knows she's stressed, but we've now framed up, brought in her counterpart or her best friend in here to actually tell the next part of the story of her being in jeopardy. Continuing on, I really love the way that this is framed up, that we've got little slats all the way along here, that we've got the character who we're sharing the journey with, she's inside the chamber and all the action happens outside between these little slats, which I think is a real clever way of moving the camera around within this scene to be able to tell the story of every single part as they move around. So she's moved around from this glass onto this glass, he's followed her along with her, so we've got movement in both directions and they're both very stressed. So we've moved along to the next panel in the cage. We've got her. She's actually got her major thing is she's now starting to notice she's freezing everything. And we've brought the boyfriend, who's now the key point of action on the outside. We've moved past her to focus on him. He's back here doing his thing as well, getting really, really panicky for what's happening to his girlfriend. So it's really good to be following along with them. Because we're inside, one of the storytelling points which I really dig about this is they've reused a lot of reflections as well, and there's obscured action coming in. So he's been so focused inside on his girlfriend that we've actually missed that our main hero's coming in and actually belted him in the back of the head, but it's all done through the glass. So we're getting it from the view of from what's happening inside, and we can't do anything about it, which is what I really loved. We're inside, we're seeing it all, we know we're trapped, we're not involved in the action, but we're scared with the girl that's inside. And I love this, the camera has been able to pull out, because this was all done very quick, and the camera has brought ourselves out where we can see in relationship to this edge here, we've got the person we're living with, we're excited with, we're enjoying this. She's actually watching what's going on between all of the frost which she's creating on the glass. So it creates a beautiful frame inside here that we can frame the action even though it's not clear. Like, I really love how it does capture all the lights which are inside this pod as well. All the lights are creating this blurry feel, but all the mess which is inside this helps frame up what the director's really trying to capture. So we've moved around to one point and we've seen the action. Lovely. Camera's moved around again. Oop. Now we can see the cameras, since we've seen the main key point of what that part of the story was all about, we've got the camera moving and we're capturing a reaction. Now it's moved around quite a lot. She hasn't moved a lot. The camera's done the moving and we're catching her reaction, which is a really nice move actually going around to get her. Again, she is now dead center. So we're making sure we keep the main point of action is always dead center and easy to follow. So now we've moved again. The camera is now reframed, continuously reframed. We've brought our main heroine here. We've brought her around a little bit. She's moved up to the next one. So she's helped lead us along to the villain who's now taking part in all of this. So beautiful frame again, one on one side, one on the other, really clear and easy to focus on. And that Perspex glass is really creating some nice contrasting views between there. I mean, this is just interesting storytelling. We've lost our main characters now. All the characters we've been enjoying the journey of, they've ran out of frame. But we've gone outside. As a viewer, we're still watching what's going on outside, which is very interesting, that we get to see the action of that action. It's just, again, splatterings of the storytelling happening while we've lost all the characters. It's just like, wow, okay, there's stuff going on outside. It's really hectic. It's lovely. Again, we've still been moving with her. She's been slowly tracking around the cave while our camera's tracking around with us, showing what's going outside. But we're always reminded that she's here, and we've really brought home the fact that things are going haywire for her by dead center in shot again. As soon as she puts her hand on something, things are changing. And this is not what she's, this is why she's getting so stressed. And we're feeling stressed with the camera moving around and so rapidly moving as well. But it's a So the thing is, we've also been, through this time as well, as we've progressed through the shot, we've always been really close to her. All of a sudden now, we've always been like mid-shot, all the way through until now we've got to a point where this is the first time when we are like 3/4 of the way through the sequence, she's fallen down on the ground, and we finally get a full body shot of her. We've moved away so we can actually see what goes on. Again, keeping her dead center, we can see all the frames which are happening in the background. So it's really nicely framed up in here to say, look, you know, we've got some pet. She's like a pet. So she's been really nicely petted up in here. But as we step through this, we're getting the flash of lights in the background. See, we can still see that we've got one character over here. Well, I should get my pen out just so we can see everything that's going on. We've got the silhouette of one character over here doing his thing. We've got the silhouette of one character over here that's still doing his thing. But we've also got, you know, this one doesn't have any ice over it. This guy's iced up and he's following behind in the ice. But she's dead center. So there's so many layers of things going on within this sequence, which is really nice, that you can lose things and get lost between what's going on. But because they've tracked the action so perfectly around here, you can follow it. And there you have it. There's my breakdown of this beautiful one-shot inside Project Power. Definitely check it out. Leave me comments below. Smash the like button. And until the next time, I say bye-bye.